welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be about an apron, which is one of my mini projects that I've planned. Now, I had been meaning to make myself a new apron for quite a while now. The only aprons that I have currently are still from my childhood, so they're both very small. So I decided to make just this cutesy little apron, and I thought I would show you the process, as this is a sewing channel. My inspiration for this apron was I wanted it to be kind of Calico Critter inspired, like I kind of wanted cottagecore, countryside / 1950s housewife vibes. I just wanted it to look very cozy and very mommy, so that's why I've called it the Mom Apron. I just want like people to look at this and just go like, oh, she looks like a very cozy, warm, welcoming mother. And I don't know, and then, you know, one day I'll wear this and in the kitchen, and then, you know, be a good cook for my husband and my kids. And so anyway, but yeah, it's going to have these like little ruffles here, and then some patchwork and some pockets, of course, and then it's gonna cross in the back and tie. And so like what's gonna happen is on the waistband, or on the edge of the waistband, there's going to be little loops so that these can come through the loop and then tie in a little bow on either side. And then I guess that means like I can adjust them, so I can have this crossed or I can have it straight down depending on what I want. And then I have some buttons which I'm going to add to here, and the buttons won't really have any shanks, they'll just be decorative. And then I also have this little heart-shaped button as well. So yeah, basically this is the design. Some of the critical measurements you will need for this project will be your waist measurement and the measurement of the apron ties, which I got from starting at the bottom where I wanted the pinafore to be, then going over my shoulder, and my apron crisscrosses in the back, so I crossed it over to the opposite side and then back to the middle, and then left a little bit for a loop of the bow. And then you're also going to need the measurement of the pinafore itself. Mine was 11 by 12 inches, and this is just like your chest measurement, sort of. It's just however big you want it to be. So I have the muslin that I bought, which is the thicker knit, and then I have some standard medium, like regular cotton muslin, and then I have some brown tea-dyed muslin. Here's how I divided my pattern pieces among my fabrics. I cut 4 pockets from my muslin, and there's only 2 pockets on the apron, but I wanted them to be double layered because they will be embroidered, and I needed something to cover the back of the embroidery so it didn't get caught on anything. I also cut out the pinafore square, but this isn't for the actual pinafore, it's just for this little embroidered patch that goes on the pinafore. So I took that 11 by 12 inch square, and then I held that up to my chest and kind of marked out the shape that I wanted. And then when I was satisfied with that shape, I folded it in half and cut out the patch. And now here you'll see I cut out 2, but I actually only needed 1. Okay, so update time. So I was cutting out all the pieces I needed from this tea-dyed muslin, right? And that included only this little bottom patch here, and then these little sleeve ruffles, or I don't know what you call these, the little ruffles on the straps. And so I got the patch all cut out, or the hem. I got the hem all cut out. And then I was working on cutting out these little ruffles, but all I could come up with was these very short, slanted pieces that I could somehow patchwork those together, but even once they're pleated, they're still not the length that I need them to be. I need them to be a lot longer than this. So what I did was I had some extra muslin left over from the pockets and this little front bit here, and because I wanted it to be a little bit different and kind of match the design, I tea-dyed this muslin as well, and as you can tell, it is Not the exact same color, but just as long as it kind of, you know, fits the vibe, I think it'll be good. So I just wanted it to be a darker color. So I'll cut the ruffles out of that. And I used a combination of green tea and black tea. I just kind of threw a bunch of tea in there. And then that got me thinking. I had this really silly idea that I wanted my apron to smell like cinnamon, because this is my mom apron, you know, and I just thought it would be so cute if, like, you know, every time someone hugged me while I was wearing it, it smelled like cinnamon. And so what I ended up doing is, for the main body of the fabric, I took this this regular cotton muslin and I dyed it with cinnamon. And apparently cinnamon dyeing is an actual fabric dyeing method, and I've never really dabbled in it. I just kind of, it was something I breezed through on the internet, but it's actually pretty simple. I used this very easy method called Impulse, and so what I did was I got my giant dye pot, filled it with like 3 gallons of water, and then I dumped in a little bit of like lemon essential oils and lemon juice, because I thought it would kind of smell a little like wassily. And then I just added like a whole like crap ton of cinnamon and cloves and ginger to it, like maybe a 1/4 of a cup or something. I don't know. It was just a ton. And then I threw my fabric in there, and then this is how it turned out. Which I will adjust the camera so you can see it a little better. So this is the fabric, and this is the original sample. I guess you can kind of see that it darkened it like maybe like 1 or 2 shades. So it's not, you know, I don't think it's a method that you could like completely dye the fabric a darker color. I didn't really care about the color. I mainly just wanted it to smell like cinnamon, and it was very successful because it smells so good. And so yeah, basically I put a bunch of spices in the pot with the fabric, and then I let it simmer for a few minutes. And then I drained it, and then I very, very lightly rinsed it, just enough to wash out all the extra spice and whatnot. And then I threw it in the dryer, and now it just smells like cinnamon and dreams. And yeah, but yeah, I just thought I would give you that update. So from my cinnamon muslin, I cut out the waistband, which was about 3.5 to 4 inches thick, and it measures a little bit less than my waist measurement by about 6 inches, because it needs a little gap for the ties to cross. So there just needs to be a little, like about a 6-inch gap in the back, or a 4-inch gap is probably better for you. I also cut out some rectangles, which will make loops on the end of the waistband. These loops go on the end of the waistband, and then the apron ties cross through them. So I cut out these rectangles, and they measured about 5 by 2 inches. I also cut out the 11 by 12 inch pinafore, and I needed 2 of these. And then I cut out my apron skirt, which was about 30 inches by 26 inches, and I cut out 3 of these. And then from my black tea-dyed muslin, I cut out my shoulder ruffle. And then from the original tea-dyed muslin, I cut out my hem, which was about 10 inches by 30 inches, and I cut out 3 of these as well. So in the end, the circumference of my skirt would be 90 inches long. So first I sewed the apron skirt with French seams, same with the hem pieces, and then I added 1/2 inch pin tucks to the hem. And then I sewed the hem to the skirt, and then I just pinked the seam as shown in this clip, and I pressed it open. And the hem of the hem is rolled hemmed. That is very weird to say. The hem of the hem is rolled hemmed. I also pinked and blind hem stitched the sides, and then I gathered the skirt by hand. Then I serged my 2 rectangles into tubes, and then I flipped them inside out, and then I sewed them inside my waistband. Then I sewed my waistband to the skirt. Okay, so now I'm working on the frill that goes over the shoulder strap, and what this pattern piece is going to look like is basically just this kind of rounded oblong half circle shape. And so this, where it's kind of symmetrical, like the point of symmetry, that's going to be your longest measurement. So you kind of need to measure, you know, from your shoulder how long you want that to be. And so mine was about 5 inches, and then I measured kind of how much I wanted it to be down here, and that would be about 2 inches. So basically what I did with that is I have created my pattern, and it's just a very elongated, tapered strip that goes from 5 inches to 2 inches. And you know, ideally you wouldn't want there to be a seam here. This is my point of symmetry. Well, mine isn't exactly symmetrical, but I didn't really care that much. So I pieced the frill together and rolled hemmed it. And then I gathered them. And then I sewed my ties into long tubes, and it's actually important that I didn't finish the edges with these. I could have serged them into tubes, but I wanted that stitch to be easy to unpick because I would be inserting my frill into that seam later, and so I just didn't want it to be too difficult to get at. Flip those inside out and then press. For the pinafore, I stitched along the top and bottom edge, and then I flipped it and pressed it. And then the sides just get a half rolled hem. And this raw edge is fine because it's going to be covered by the apron ties later. Then I marked where to put my frills. And then I unpicked the parts of the seam that the frill was going to be, and then I stuck the frill in and top stitched it in with the machine. Then I took a road trip for Thanksgiving, and I worked on the embroidery with the pockets and then that top patch of the pinafore. And I embroidered rosemary and chamomile, and I just chose those two because I guess because my name is Mary, so, you know, rosemary makes sense. And then I've always liked chamomile tea. I mean, I don't drink it that much, but I like the chamomile flower, so I just chose those two things to embroider onto my apron. I just thought it added to the cozy kitchen style, so yeah. On the way home, I hand sewed my waistband along the inside. I joined my now embroidered patch to the pinafore, facing good side to good side, and then I flipped it to the right side, and then I made sure to press the edge that was still showing, and then I top stitched that edge down along with some crocheted cotton lace. I serged my pocket raw edges, and then I added more lace to the tops of those, and then I pressed the serged ends inwards so that they would be facing the inside of the pocket, and then I top stitched the pockets to the apron skirt. I also added more crochet lace to my frills. Next, I top stitched the ties to the pinafore, and then I top stitched the pinafore to the apron. Finishing up, I added buttons to the front ends of the apron ties, and then I finished the ends of the apron ties as well by hand. And I didn't really get a clip of this, but I also added like a little heart button on top of the pinafore, but you'll see that in the reveal, which is now. Well friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really loved making this apron. I think it's so cute and it smells amazing, and it's probably one of my new favorite wardrobe pieces because it just goes so well with everything that I own. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Miss you and love you, bye. Okay, sometimes I forget what I'm designing. Okay. Hope y'all don't mind that I just got out of the shower. I'm thirsty. With French sheet. Many times, many words. Love will live. Never gonna run around and hurt you. I didn't even press record. I'm so silly. Look at all those crows.
Hey guys, hello. Hello. Hello.
We're in the magical land of Christmas.
Christmas land.
Oh, are you showing them the tree?
I'm in the tree space.
Here, you can hold it like that.
I'll give you a penny if you drink that water.
No.
What? Why would I do that?
Where?
You're thirsty and wanting a penny.
I want to be in the video.
Sally, say hi. Hi.
We're in a video.
Magic.
Hello. I'm trying to let them see the top. How do you do? There. I did it.
Insert distraction here.
Take a camera. Oh, it's on.
Yes, it's on.
Hello. Hi.
Inspiring change, and I'm so excited to talk with more celebrities, activists, and filmmakers.
See if you can catch.
Alright, now I need to go inside because I am freezing to death. You may look super cute in the winter, but you don't look super cute when you're frozen. I look super cute.